Hey my YouTube friends, I wanted to talk to you guys again to get your guys' thoughts, because my store is closing down at 5 a.m. again thanks to all the protesters. I'm just grateful that we haven't had what we've had in LA, New York, or Texas, or North Carolina, or Minneapolis, or anything like that. I mean, they do protest, and just in case they try to riot and they try to loot, they're protecting us. So they send customers home and they close the store at 5. And then we get everything ready for that by 7 so we can be out by 8. And it's just something that's really tough, because when I watched that video of Candace Owen, I didn't mean to disrespect my sister-in-law, and I hope she didn't take it that way, because everybody has their own choice and their own opinion. But what she said was wrong. Whether he was a person who used to do drugs or did drugs, that's not the point. That doesn't make him a bad person because of that. His past is his past, and everybody changes, and sometimes people come out extremely better than what you or I can imagine. And that's what brought me to tears almost, because we can't go back in time and look at history and look at our own history, because I always tell people the Spaniards were really, really strong way back then, and they owned slaves, and they brought them to Mexico, and they intermarried or interracially got together with the Aztecs, which were the Hispanics, the real Mexicans, and they were called mulattoes. Then you got your ones that were shipped to like Dominican Republic. There were some that were integrated all over South America. Slaves were everywhere, all over the United States, all over South America, Mexico, Cuba, Puerto Rico, and it was because everybody owned slaves. And so a lot of the times when people don't realize and they do their DNA test, you may be surprised with who your ancestors are. So, because it's just weird to me how these people think, oh, there shouldn't even be a problem, but there still is an issue with race. And I guess people have gone backwards and have gone nuts. I don't support the riots. I don't support the people breaking into people's businesses and stealing from other people and breaking and destroying stuff and killing other people. That doesn't make it right. I support the fact that they're protesting for injustice, that it was wrong, and it has happened. It's sad that because I had a friend who was her mom was, I think, Dominican Republic, and her mom was the beautifulest black woman you'll ever meet, and her dad was black, but her dad didn't know. He learned Spanish from his mom, and she was teaching them how to prepare themselves if a police officer were to come by and what they had to do. And I remember asking her, what are you doing? Why do you guys have to do that? You shouldn't have to do that. She was like, why would a police officer think you and I or anybody else any different? You're not doing anything wrong. She goes, oh, you're so innocent. Her mom hugged me and gave me a kiss, and that's all she said. And it's sad that still to this day, parents have to do that to their own children. Like, sit there and teach their children, to sit there and say, hands up, say your name, say you're unarmed and unharmed, and you're not out, and you're not harmed. That's all she would tell them is, okay, my hands are up, I am unarmed, and my name is blah, 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 and I'm compliant. That's all she would teach them. So when I seen the video a couple of minutes ago, like a few hours ago, of this, like people, a documentary of like saying how they teach their children that. It's like, wow, it's like it hasn't changed. And you're going to right, it hasn't changed. There's been too much brutality on both ends, on police, on people of color, and of minority, and it has to stop. If you can't respect and learn to love one another, then I don't even know what we're doing. I feel like we're just a country that's fighting for what? I have no clue. Because at the end of the day, we bleed the same blood. People, to me, it's pointless how people think that she's privileged. I mean, I get what Candace Owen was saying. I understand what she was saying, but it's how she said it that was not correct. She can be correct in a lot of things, but that was something she wasn't correct on. I'm not saying she was lying if he was on drugs or not. I don't know that. But to blame somebody for the past and say, oh, they're a bad man, I don't support that, blah, blah, blah. No, because then you're saying that that's unjustifying his death and that what that cop did was correct. And no, I will not stand by that. So if you can't say nothing right, nothing polite, nothing that is brings unity to this country, then just keep your mouth shut. Because at the end of the day, we are all equal, whether people don't agree or not. Because if I die and I cut you open and you die, my blood's going to be just as red as yours. And it's not going to make any difference whether you're purple, whether you're white, or whether you're black or yellow. So to me, it's pointless to attack one another. And my point to my sister-in-law was, where did she get her information? I just want to know. Because I looked, and even as they call it the black web, I've looked through the files and I didn't find nothing other than what they had, the media had. And sure, the media does lie a lot. Don't get me wrong. But you can't sit there and point the finger and say, oh, he was on drugs and this and that. Because the autopsy does have to, they have to bring that up in court anyways. Because even if he was high that day or not, they have to bring it up in court because they have to rule everything out, that wasn't the reason at play. But to attack somebody for their past and say they were a bad person when they have changed their life, because she doesn't know him personally. She has no idea who this man was until he died. And then all of a sudden, she has information on him. She knows his history. She knows what this man was all about. That's what bothered me. It's not that she could be correct or incorrect. It's the fact of what she said. And it just doesn't help. If you can't say nothing that's going to be uplifting, that's going to help society, that's going to help unite people, then just don't say it. This is not worth it, because too many people are hurting, and too many people live in a place where injustice has been here and everywhere. It's happening in Europe. It's happening all over the world. So I may not be of the black community or whatever, but we still have to learn to respect and love our brothers and sisters, whether we disagree or not agree. Like I said it before, we're always gonna have people in our own in our own race, in our own culture, in our own ethnicity that are gonna ruin things for you. Like there is Emmett 13. I'm Latina, but I don't support gangs, but there's gangs that are huge in South America, and there are people who run from South America to come to the United States for that reason. And then there's cartels, there's rapists, there's murderers, there's people who do. I've seen women who do drugs in front of their own children, or even do drugs while they're pregnant. And these are not Mexicans, these are not blacks. I've seen them of every color. I've seen a Mexican, a white, and a black. They all done it in front of me. I've visibly have seen every race commit a crime. We all are people. We're humans. We're born inherited sin from Adam and Eve. We're all going to sin. But if we're going to spend most of our time fighting and arguing over something that's not worth it, then yeah, no, I don't want to be a part of that. Because looting and destroying people's stuff, I don't want to be a part of that. Because now the black community is going to pay for it. Even my coworker, her name is Loretta, she works with me and she's a black woman. She says, yep, we are going to pay for it. Watch. When all this is over, who they're going to blame? And I told her, yep, the black community. So they need to stop. And you all need to stop blaming them for everything. Whether it was a white guy, whether it was a black guy, whether it was a purple guy, whether it was an Asian guy, it doesn't matter. We all bleed the same. We all just need to focus for a better change, for a better America. Because if Donald Trump wants the second term, he's going to have to prove his model. Because he has to let the people have their First Amendment with freedom of speech and let them talk. And then when he said the Second Amendment, it's like, whoa. It's like, now you can't shut violence with violence. It's just going to create basically what everybody's saying is another civil war, which I don't see, but it can happen, and it's basically going to create more chaos within chaos. So you can't put violence with violence. It's just not going to work. All you're going to create is more. See, I stand with the family, and I'm sorry that this person died unjustifiably, and it wasn't right. So when everybody started marching, I was all for it. And I was like, yeah, they're marching for a good cause and deserve change. Because we are in the 2020s and people deserve to change because they bleed the same blood as I do. And they have lived here for centuries, were born and raised here. They're no different. They're not immigrants. So I don't understand how they get treated any different. And this is what I told my son and what I told my friend at work. You're white. I look white, but I'm Hispanic. But we'll never fully see it through the lens of their eyes or experience what they have to go through day by day. Because see, you can get pulled over by a cop and get treated with differently than the person who is of color. They get pulled over by a cop, they automatically assume threat. They profile. They automatically assume that they're a target and that they have to somehow get rid of the target. And I feel like the more people create more of this chaos, that's what's going to continue to happen. Everybody's going to be a target sooner or later if we all continue to act like criminals. Marching peacefully, I'm for that because that's what I stand for. I stand that you need to march, you need your voices heard, you need to speak up because change does need to happen. But to go and break into innocent businesses, take things that weren't yours and acting like a criminal, what did you get from that? I mean, I watched this guy in this video and he was like, ooh, where'd you get that TV? Ooh, the back room. It's like, yeah. That to me was not even funny. It just was like, one, because I work at a place where he stole that. And second, that's not what I stand for as an American. So to me, if we can't stand together and unite and speak up in a better language of love, then I don't want to even hear what you have to say. if you can't respect each other and respect one another, then I don't know. Because I feel like she had a right to speak. Candace Owen does have a right to speak and does have a right to say what she has to say. But it's how she said it and what she said. And it's like my grandmother used to tell me, do you rather be happy or you rather be right? So America, what do you want? Do you rather be happy or you rather be right? And at the end of the day, we all have to stand up for injustice, yes. So I hope you guys can comment and give me your thoughts and tell me what you guys think. And I hope you guys have a great night. Bye.